TG presents Something to Talk About with Katisa Allen, Karen KJ, Sunrise Day, Miss Laura, and your host, Adriana Renee. February is the month of love, and love is something to talk about. Come join us. Let's talk about it.
Hello, ladies.
Hello, ladies. Hello. How is everyone?
How is everyone? I am doing great. You know what we do. You know how we do it. We're going to take a minute just to tag our people. How about that?
Well, my soul sisters, y'all looking good.
But so are you. Yes. We're still celebrating Black history. That's what we're doing. So while you guys, hey, Deshaun Moore, while you guys are preparing and tagging, we're just going to talk a little bit about what we're going to talk about. How about that?
Yes.
What Black history is. We're going to do that while we're tagging.
Okay, so we are sharing today about our experiences with Black history.
Go ahead, Karen. I think Miss Laura says she froze. Hold on one second.
Miss Laura, you freezing?
She'll have to come back in.
Are you here in Texas? Are you in Texas or are you in Michigan?
Man, Michigan. That Michigan. Hey, come on in. Nicole Lee is here. Deshaun Moore and Lisa Moses are in YouTube. Hey, Penny, Nicole Lee, y'all come on in, tag your people and share, and let's get them in here. This is Sunrise Day, and y'all see it. Karen KJ, I'm not sure Miss Laura had to duck out, but she'll be back. She will be back. She'll be back. Let me send her another link. All right, ladies. So how's the weather where you are? How about that while we're still getting our folks in here?
It's absolutely beautiful. We just left Michigan. So we we got the little cold. It's not bad for us Michiganders,
Mm-hmm. It's beautiful in Kansas City. I think it's almost 60.
Oh, there she is. Hey, Miss Laura.
You're back. We missed it.
Hello, everyone. Back in full effect.
In full effect. Miss Laura, we just letting them know what we're gonna be giving them to talk about. That's what we're just letting them know while we're tagging some of our people what we're gonna be talking about today.
All right.
And we're excited. Tisa, who usually takes over YouTube holiness, as she calls it.
Poor Katisa. Poor Katisa.
YouTube holiness.
Poor Katisa. Let's see. Well, right now, let me see who else showed up. And Toya Younger. Hey, Toy. Hey. Welcome to something to talk about. That's Toya. Karen, you see Miss Toya Younger, the doctor.
Yes. Thank you for coming.
Wow, yes. You guys come on in. Joya Moore, hey, over in YouTube. Come on in, guys. Come on in. Yep, keep tagging. Tag. Marilyn Hudson is here. Y'all step back off Katisa. Hey. Penny be taking up for everybody. So we're here to talk about Black history. That's what we're here to do. And Katisa Allen is not able to be with us tonight, but we know she's here in spirit. But we figure it's enough of us to hold it down, right? So we're going to talk a little bit, just kind of give our perspective on, I guess, just Black history. We're going to just talk about what they're going to talk about. That's what, just to close it out, Black History Month. We've been talking about love, and we know you've seen the introduction, and we're still, even talking about Black history is still all about love, because that's really why we're all sitting here. It's all about love. So we're going to let Karen KJ start it off. Karen got the beads, the African look. Look at her. She brought the beads and the braids and the
got my locks.
Looking good.
In with the African, for real. She went way back. Karen went with the drums, with the drums and the dancing and
now I can do the dancing. Y'all don't want me to don't want me to play the drums. The only thing I can do, I can play one tone.
She can dance to the drums. Now that I can say she can dance to the drums. So listen, welcome. Don't forget to tag and welcome. But we're gonna let Karen talk a little bit about we still Karen, we still got
first of all, I want to acknowledge and to tell my grandbaby a happy 19th birthday on today.
All right. Happy birthday. Aliana.
Yes, the very first grandchild, the one that set it all off.
Oh, wow. The very first. Hey, Michelle Black Diamond.
Yep, the one that made way for 12 others.
Wow. Ooh-wee.
So
welcome. Come on in, everybody. Come on in. Y'all cute, ain't it? Oh, she said, Shazetta said, y'all cute, ain't it?
Hey, Shazetta.
We are celebrating.
All I was missing is her. Put her in the middle if she's on here.
There you go. What we need to be right up in the middle. So we're celebrating the last day of Black History for us, for something to talk about. Our next Saturday will be in the month of March. So we wanted to close it out. We've been talking about love all the Saturdays. Thank God for traveling grace and being able to be back home. But we've been talking about love. And so we're going to just tie all of that in together and close it. Karen said how we cannot shut this down without talking about something pertaining to Black history. So we are going to bring what we're talking about to Black history. And so from our perspective, what does Black history mean to us, or just to kind of talk about Black history? All right. And we're going to start it off with Karen KJ. We're going to start. Y'all come on in. Hey, Marjune, Edna, Elam, you come on in, share, please heart. Don't forget your coins. Don't forget to like. But tagging and sharing and hearting, that builds up the program. Okay. It builds up our audience. Facebook is happy. And then we're happy. Then we can make y'all happy. Then y'all making y'all happy. Anyway, so Karen. We've already
what you talking about, Renee? What you talking
about? We welcome your comments. We welcome thank you, Brandon. We welcome your encouragement. Engage with us. Let us know what you think. Bring your opinions. Even bring your whether it's professional, bring yourselves, include yourselves in us. We're on this platform, but we're here for you guys, right? Because we can sit and talk to ourselves like we do before we see y'all see us. But we want you to engage. So Karen, we're going to let you take it.
All right. Well, what I want to share my experiences in the neighborhoods that I grew up in Detroit.
Okay.
Starting off as one of the neighborhoods that I grew up in, I lived on Prairie Street in between Finkel and John C. Lodge. Now, what sticks out about that street to me is that the riot of 1967 in Detroit. Seeing army tanks going down the middle of a residential street.
Wow.
I stayed probably about 5 miles from where the actual riot took place. And that riot actually started. The riot started because of an illegal, so they say, an illegal after hours club that was actually celebrating 2 Vietnam vets. That's how that whole riot started. And they say that only about 29, they say that the police was only responsible for about 29 deaths. But that riot was on a street that was called 12th Street. It was basically a Black community.
Mm-hmm.
There was different stores, different restaurants, different clubs. It kind of almost reminds you of the movie, what was it, Cotton Club. So and the thing about it is that one of the funny things that even though that wasn't a funny time, but one of my other memories, I'm not going to name the name and I'm not going to name the relationship of this person, but they were on 12th Street because, people were looting and breaking into places and whatnot. And I must have been 6. Because this riot happened in 1967. So yeah, I was 5 going on 6, I believe. And this person brought me about 7, 8 pairs of shoes. And so I used to say, because they brought me all these shoes, that's why I have this shoe thing. I love shoes, boots.
Shoe fetish.
Well, see, I didn't really want to say fetish, Miss Laura.
I think everybody on here
think that I'm addicted, but
I'm the least. Y'all probably got it much worse than I got it bad already, but I know all y'all. I know somebody who traveled with a suitcase just for shoes. I'm not gonna say any names. I'm just saying what I'm saying.
So I always blame that person for bringing me all those shoes from out of that store to why I like buying shoes now. So fast forward, by the time I turned 12, we moved to a different neighborhood, which was on Virginia Park between Linwood and LaSalle. Mm-hmm. Now I have to put my mother in the history. My mother was the owner of a soul food restaurant, which was called Green Leaf Grill. It originally started on 12th Street. The woman that owned it, her name was Doris. The restaurant got shut down because of the riot, and it moved on Linwood. The Miss Doris gave my mother the restaurant. So my mother became the owner of this restaurant. Like I said, it was called Green Leaf Grill. Soul food, Renee, to the max. Okay. Ooh. I mean, every type of soul. I mean, she from everything, fried chicken, chitlins, greens, dressing, every type of soul food my mother made. So one side of the restaurant was like a cafe, and the other side of the restaurant was a former dining area. So on the weekends and during the summer, Karen did not have to worry about where she was having a job. So that's how I learned how to serve or as a waitress, because I was always over there. Also, that neighborhood, because of that restaurant, people like Smokey Robinson and the Miracles, the Temptations, Diana Ross, Aretha Franklin, they all came in there. Diana Ross and the Supremes. And it wasn't like this, I'm so special. They didn't have that type of attitude. They didn't have that type of person because they all lived in the neighborhood. Aretha Franklin's father, Reverend C.R. Franklin, was 2 blocks up the street from where we lived at. Now, mind you, when we moved on Virginia Park, we were right across the street from my mother's restaurant. So always just walking across the street, just getting food. So it was, amazing just to see the local celebrities that would come in there and eat and, on Sundays and be in there in fellowship. Motown was just like this little bitty home, was only about maybe a mile or so from where I lived at. Some of the Temptations lived around the corner. And like I said, I lived on Virginia Park and Linwood. A half a block on the same street, Virginia Park, but now this is between Linwood and Wildermere. Mrs. Rosa Parks stayed down the street. And you never know. The Bible says, never despise small beginnings.
Mm-hmm.
It never occurred to me the history of where I live, the people that I associated with. Mm-hmm. She lived down the street, her and her husband. Well, by this time, I think it was just her. They lived in like what they called a 2-family flat. She stayed in the lower level. And, it kind of did not hit me until after I had graduated from school and moved out of the neighborhood when I realized the richness of the history that I lived.
Wow. Yeah.
And so the street, 12th Street, where the riot actually happened, they changed the name of that street to Rosa Parks Boulevard. So, just, you read about the different people in the books and this and that, but I can honestly say that I lived with these famous people, these people that are in our history books. The other day I was watching, it was last week, and I was watching the Rosa Parks movie that I never even knew existed. Angela Bassett plays Rosa Parks.
Mm-hmm.
And just sitting there, just looking at that, and it got me to thinking. I was like, wow, she was just a stone's throw away from where I lived at.
So you didn't even know you was a part of history in the making. You had no idea. So to me, it's almost like you remembering the streets that the history you didn't even know at the time. So you took it back to the time to where you were, and what that history is. And it is African American history. It's Black history, because look at the people that you named, Rosa Parks and Motown, and to be right there in the middle of all that, and to be able to sit here and say that is the history for me. To know I didn't even know Rosa Parks. She just lived next door to me. And now to say that you were actually there, that's pretty big. That's pretty big.
So that's an experience.
Was that Hitsville?
It is.
Yes, ma'am. Hitsville, USA. I mean, a little house. When I was
thought Whitewood House. Yeah.
It seemed like a huge home, but today they are expanding it and making it bigger and whatnot. But it was basically just a one-story itty bitty little home, and all of these Stevie Wonder, all of them, that's where they all got their start.
All right.
Yeah. We said I wasn't gonna say no names. Sunrise Shazetta said she'll say your name for the shoes and the suitcase. Hey, you got any questions? Any questions for Karen, or any questions or any comments for Karen as far as what she's saying? Hey, Miss McDuffie, where she Anthony Polis?
You probably don't know how old she is.
Oh, she said you asked Karen how old she is. You went way back. Karen, there you go.
I am 61.
Tell it, truth. Tell it.
Good too.
I'll be 62 in August, Lord willing.
Rev, do we have any newcomers on?
I don't see the Anthony Marcel looks new for me.
On YouTube.
YouTube. No, we got Natalie over here. But Miss Laura, we ain't this ain't
bring it into the.
Yeah, we ain't in BTG, so it's a little different. It's a little different. But they over there. We appreciate y'all.
That's why I invited my sisters to go to YouTube, because I forgot to link it and send it on Facebook.
Okay, Sharon Mitchell just came up in YouTube. So yeah, they showing up, Miss Laura. They here.
Okay.
Any comments? Any questions? Sharon said, hey. So now we're going Kathy Ruffin. I see you. Now we're talking about, for those of you who are just coming in, we're talking about our experiences concerning Black history and what Black history we could talk about, or what we could say concerning Black history. Karen kicked it off with the neighborhoods that she grew up in, Motown, and not too many houses down from Rosa Parks. And so we want to talk a little. We didn't want to close the month of February out. We've been talking about love, and we didn't want to close it out without saying something about Black history and what it is to us. So Sunrise Day, We're gonna let you go ahead and tell us what some
Come on, Sister Soldier.
for you.
Well, I would first just like to say that I am proud to be an African American.
Okay.
I mean, we are a melting pot of, just look at the four of us. I mean, we have styles. I mean, just the color of Black people. There's so many different flavors. It's just beautiful. I mean, God did his thing with us. He did his thing with us. Just as the assortment, you know, of colors. It's just it's a bouquet, you know, of beauty. Yes. But I also wanted to make mention of some of the inventions of Black African Americans. One being the touch-tone phone, the traffic light, the pacemaker, in which I have, the thermostat.
So can we, excuse me, Sunrise, can we hear some of the names that no? Okay.
No, I didn't have time to do all that. I'm sorry. I just got in.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
Okay. The home security system, gas and heating furnace, the automatic elevator doors, clothes dryers, the automatic gear shift, and the mailbox. You know, it's like, you know, the one thing about it is that we are some talented group of people. Mm-hmm. You know, a lot of times, you know, people that are in the prison system, I mean, the talent that they carry and they use it to do wrong with, you know, but yet still they can use it for so much good. But yet still, I would like to say that even with the history that I would like to speak on is about my mom and dad. My mother, she was very fair skinned and she could pass as Caucasian. And so, and she was born in 1932. And so as the others, her other siblings, I believe she had 13, they worked in the field and they picked cotton. They worked in the field picking cotton, but because of my mom's fair skin, she was invited into the big house and she was able to, you know, cook for, you know, the Caucasians and, you know, help them with their children and things like that. But because a lot of, you know, of our elderly, you know, our grandparents and, you know, they didn't get a chance to get an education because work was more important. They had to provide for the family. They had to get out and pick cotton and things like that. And so a lot of them did not have more than an elementary education. My parents, my mom and my dad, neither of them got past the 3rd grade because they had to work. But the one thing that I knew about my parents was if you didn't know that they didn't work or wasn't educated, you wouldn't have known that they were illiterate because God blessed them with common sense and wisdom. And that's what we got by on, you know. And so they took care of 10 children, you know, by themselves. You know, they made ends meet, you know, out of nothing. There was times where we were down to nothing, but yet still they were able to put things together and provide for their families. And so they were able to hold jobs. My mom used to cook from scratch. I mean, she didn't even read a recipe, you know, and so it's like a lot of times people think, you know, because you don't have an education that you're stupid, you know, but there's so much, you know, that you can just learn from just having common sense and wisdom. And so I just wanted to mention, you know, too, about how that illiteracy was a big thing, you know, for back when, but yet still you would have never known that they were illiterate. And also I want to make mention too that in my studies, I read and listened that a lot of the darker skinned African Americans were treated differently than the fair skinned ones. And so it was like they were made to work longer hours and things like that. And a lot of times they didn't get away with nothing, but the fair skinned people, they were able to, you know, talk back and things like that and not get, you know, the whippings and the, you know, that the darker skin African Americans received. And so there was kind of the prejudice in the color, and it's going on today. You know, there's a lot of stuff that's still going on today between, you know, light skin and dark skin, even in our own, you know, race. You know,
that. Natalie Davis just said that too. She said it's still going on today.
Because there's, even on your job, there's a lot of times in which the lighter skinned person can get promoted and get elevated because they're so closer to the Caucasian skin tone that they a lot of times have favor, whereas the darker skinned one is not recognized, or they're looked over and things like that. And so it's unfortunate that you know, things like that exist, but it does. But I believe that we're all beautiful, all shades and colors. I mean, all of us are beautiful. So I just thank God for all of the different colors of our race.
All right. That's good. That is good. I was as far as if anybody want to comment or piggyback even off of what Sunrise said, but when you talked about the illiterate part of it, I remember watching the movie Roots, and even some, I believe, was in another Black movie. I can't think of the name of it. That reading, they did not want Black people to read. They didn't want them to be educated. I believe even Harriet Tubman, that was the movie there, had to hide that she knew how to read. They would lynch you if you knew how to read. They didn't want to become educated. So that illiterate part is so true. And unfortunately today, some African Americans use that as a crutch. You know what I'm saying? They use it as a crutch. Even today, they don't want me to learn. They don't want me to get that. But that illiterate part was big back then. I was watching Kizzy, I believe it was, on Roots.
Yeah.
And Suzanne Summers, I believe that was her, maybe not hers. What is her name? That played the Caucasian. They were best friends. Her and Kizzy were best friends. And she taught Kizzy how to read, and it wound up backfiring on her. And she told on her that Kizzy knew how to read. I don't know what happened, but anyway, they did not want the Negroes, if I will. They did not want them to learn how to read or write. It was banned. They could not. Anyway, anybody want to piggyback off of what?
Renee, you want me to read some of the names of the inventions?
Yes.
That he left us. Okay.
Yes.
One other thing, when you were saying Kizzy, I was looking at you like, I'm thinking about my goddaughter Kizzy. I'm like, Kizzy, baby, she not read.
Oh, Kizzy and Kunta. Did y'all watch that Kunta Kinte? You know, it's a lot of children under us that don't know anything about that movie.
Exactly.
It could be depressing, but it is very informative. It really is.
So Sarah Boone, a Black woman who invented the ironing board.
Oh, wow.
Jan E. Matzlinger, a Black man, invented the shoe lasting machine. Walter Sammons, a Black man, invented the comb. Lydia O. Newman invented the brush.
Wow.
Let me see who else. Lloyd P. Ray, a Black man, invented the dustpan. Thomas W. Stewart, a Black man, invented the mop.
Okay, they got tired of that cleaning up and sweeping stuff under. Okay, dustpan ain't got no mop.
George T. Salmon, a Black man, invented the clothes dryer.
See there? Y'all cleaning. That's all they know.
Stop.
That's what they treated them like.
Invented the pencil sharpener. So now we're moving up.
Oh, okay. Now we can have a pencil.
We're getting away from the cleaning. Now we're moving up to the pencils. Okay. So yes, his name was John Love, and he invented the pencil sharpener. William Purvis, a Black man, invented the fountain pen. John Burr invented the lawnmower.
See there? They couldn't grab.
There you go. Stop it. Stop.
Man,
See, Philip Downing invented the letter drop mailbox. So thank you, Katisa, for
yes.
sharing that with us. So, it's things that we use every day.
We didn't have no idea.
Take for granted. We
have
no idea. None.
Yeah. Okay. Edna Elam says, I really liked what Edna just said. She says, and I'm thinking about the portraits, the picture that I see with the four of us. Edna Elam says, I cannot imagine what the world would be like being one color on a canvas without definition. At least we add to all portraits. That is so true.
Yes.
That is so true.
Look at the rainbow.
Yeah.
Look at the rainbow.
Wow.
The
rainbow.
You have, Madam, because it's just a promise, but because of the 5 primary colors. But if you start blending those colors together, they come up with other colors.
This is what you get. Hey, yeah. That's good. Thank you for that, Edna. Thank you. So Miss Laura, we're gonna let Miss Laura.
Let me just add a little bit more to what Karen said real quick before I jump on mine. Madam C.J. Walker, I believe it was her name, with the press and comb, and Eli Whitley with the cotton gin, and then we have the one that invented the light bulb. They always said it was a Caucasian that did it, but it was a Black man, and I don't know his name. But anyway, I just wanted to throw that in. Okay.
Yeah, you got the floor, Miss Laura.
All right. Most of you know that I've been in child care for 25 plus years. And for the ones that don't know, I have. And what was really dear to my heart to teach my little kids, and I asked, as a matter of fact, I asked Chloe today, did she remember? And she go, yeah. And I told her when she was real young about Ruby Bridges. And so this little 6-year-old girl that was born and raised out of New Orleans. And in 1964, 5 years before that, they integrated, they were doing integration, right? Mm-hmm. But they put the pressure on them. Our president, the president at the time, Eisenhower, he had put the pressure on a lot of the different states because they were slow moving in this direction. So they end up giving 150 little kids in first grade at school, kindergartners or whatever, these tests to test them. And out of 150 children, only 6 kids passed the test. Oh, wow. And Ruby Bridges happened to be one of them.
I know that. Okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Wow. And so out of the 6, 3 of the parents decided that they were going to let the kids go to the school, integrate, to get, go to the integration schools. And so it ended up being that 2 of the kids, Ruby passed it. And so a lot of people were coming over there congratulating her parents and telling them that she's so smart. And they, was telling them how proud they were of her, that she passed the test. And the other 2 little girls, out of the 6, only 3 were going to go and was going to attend the school. So they did go, but after the first day, the other 2 dropped out. So that left Ruby. So her first day of going to school, they end up having to get 4 U.S. Marshals because the white people didn't want this little Black girl and these kids going to school. They didn't want to segregate the school. They did not want these children coming to their schools. And it's really sad. When I read this story first time I ever heard of Ruby Bridges, I really cried and I got so emotional because I can't even imagine a 6-year-old child being scrutinized and being hated for just because of the color of her skin. So the U.S. Marshals, they showed up at her house. They were hired the president sent them to escort this little girl to school every day. Okay, they did that every day. And so in doing so, when they were on, her mom went with her Her mom went with her, and they went to the school, and the school is called what? Williams Frank. That's yeah, I think that was the name of the school. And so, of course, on the way there, in the car, when they went around the corner, she started seeing all these people. Ruby, we talking about Ruby, and her mom was in there too. But Ruby started seeing all these different people lined up in the streets chanting. She thought it was a Mardi Gras. She came from New Orleans. She thinking it was a Mardi Gras. Wow. And they were chanting 2, 4, 6, 8. We don't want to integrate. They were chanting that.
Wow.
It's unbelievable. Unbelievable, y'all. Wow. And
go ahead. I want to ask you a question real quick. So let me say, Ms. Laura just celebrated just a few months ago her 70th, had a big, beautiful 70th celebration. And if you know Ms. Laura, let me tell y'all something. Don't sleep on her. If you coming with fashion, you got to come correct with Ms. Laura, because I'm telling you, from the flow up.
Yes.
He dressed to the T, hair, makeup, outfit, purse, the shoes. She bring. I don't care if she got on jeans or sweats. She bringing it. All right. But Miss Laura, I want to ask a question, because you just celebrated 70 years from the time when you were a little girl. And I'm just talking about the world as you raised here in Dallas, even just the surrounding. I know there has been a change, but from you to see different fashions, different what do you call them? Trends, and you know how they come in with the heels and they with the stacks, and then they go out with then they got skinny jeans, and then they have bell bottom jeans. How much of that has kept repeating this? So, you know, the Bible even says there's nothing new under the sun. We can't think everything that has happened. I mean, it has already happened, and it's going to happen again. How much have you seen, Ms. Laura? How is your view on 50 years ago being a 20-year-old opposed to now being a 7-year-old? I'm not talking about behaviors and all that.
Yeah.
But as far as fashion and cliches and trends, talk about that. Just for a minute.
It looks like what we're looking now. You know, 50 years ago. Okay. I know I probably was wearing Afro wigs. My kids wore them. And so even the dashikis, what you have on, Rev, and Karen here, and Sunrise, we got these Afros on, and the trends were, you know, the clog shoes. Even I had a friend named, his name was, oh God, what was he? Everybody called him. Oh God, I can't think his nickname. Anyway, he was a guy, and he wore the wooden clog heels, and everybody thought he was. Yeah, everybody thought he was like sweet. Baby, he was in his mom only had one child.
Gloria said platforms.
Yeah, he had, yes, and they were called clogs. Dutch shoes. They were wooden Dutch shoes. Moon was his nickname. And baby, you can't make that. Baby, the more he wore them, and he was so jivey. He had all the girls. If my sister was on there, she'd say something. Moon was a jivey dude, because he had the wooden Dutch shoes that everybody else couldn't afford to get, but his mom only had that one child. So he wore the things that other kids couldn't wear. And you know, the checkered clothes. Then you got the pants with the flare legs and the checkers, and you got the apple hats, and you know, and then you're walking on a cane. You don't learn how to walk a different walk, which is called, back in the day, they called it the PIM walk. Baby. Okay. Baby. And I think I could still do it, just seeing them drag one foot, drag another. Okay. I just seen a guy, I called my friend and I said, B, I just seen a guy coming down Spring Valley on the boulevard, got the, you know what, walk. She said, you lying to me.
Yeah, the different fads.
The different fashions. Yeah, it was all about fashions that we came into.
Yeah,
changing our world. The big earrings, and you know, and when I was a young girl, we couldn't wear lip color, red lip color. My uncle was.
How about the Miss Laura? Let me tell you, eyelashes getting so long, it's gonna exceed the hair to me.
Okay.
Does that ever stop? I mean, someone walk around eyelashes like this. It's crazy. I can't even, I wonder how far where they go. I'm just saying, I mean, don't do nothing but eyelashes. You can't see the face.
I know.
I believe I can fly.
Yeah, I can't even imagine. I'm having fun with this, but to do this all day, every day, I'd lose my mind. I can't. Man.
And I got the nerve. We having word to church tomorrow. We having a day. Black History.
You know what I think too is it's good. Stuff like this is good, especially for people who see the video. That's why I said share. You don't know who this can fall in the hands of, and it can encourage some young. So because some of these young girls they don't care. They going out with bonnets. They at the airport.
Oh God, please.
Coming back with some rollers in the hair.
Please.
They got on house shoes and clogs and sweatpants. I mean, they just look. I had on sweats, but you best believe my sweats was already ironed. They had been ironed the board. My socks have been ironed. I got a shirt on up underneath it, and I got something on up underneath. But
your socks ironed.
I asked my mom, do I iron
But
my
those bonnets.
She said decrease her sweats.
Don't hate. I sure do.
Oh, yeah.
Who know me. Ask anybody who know me. I don't care. You don't have to go out looking like
the bonnets. Those bonnets. If it's ever anything that I really don't like that we as Black women have, I'm not gonna do it. But Black people in general, those bonnets is a girl wore one to church.
Yeah,
they're pretty fancy.
They wore one to graduation. A bonnet.
Pretty fancy.
Them to wear to church.
Huh?
With crosses and bling on, they designing them that way because that's how they wearing them and they making money off of them.
Yeah, because when they wear the African scarves and things like that, now it's the bonnets, so they're fancying them up and with different.
Well, they ain't one of the ones that I seen in the church fancy. They just one of the ones that you put on like great grandmama would have on, just the one to hang way down here. Put it on your head and let it hang. That is the most ridiculous thing I think any woman could put on her head and go in public outside.
It's like the pants. It's like pants on the ground, with the boys sagging jeans and things like that. As we live, there's different fashion sense that come into play, and even though it may turn us off and we don't like it, it's a different generation, and so they do their thing, And so, but bell bottoms are on the store racks now. When you go in to buy clothes, you can buy bell bottoms, and they're back in style. And so
please don't talk about the saggy jeans because that saggy pants that started in prison.
Right, all of that ties into our last week topic: the importance of being
a parent.
Hello, because you ain't walking out of here with your pants on the ground. I don't care how far the ground is or how high. None of that. Let's see some of our comments. Joya Moore said, yes, my great grandfather was a runaway slave and met my great grandmother on her plantation in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. That is when they ran and all of her and all her siblings leaving their mother behind. Wow. Wow. Michelle says, yes, Miss Laura is a diva. Yes, Stephanie Dixon says, love the Afro ladies. Michelle Diamond said, for a long time when I was a little girl, I hated being dark skinned because they said it was ugly, and that's so true. And y'all know Michelle is a pretty dark, beautiful dark. And Toby English said the same thing. I think Toby was probably the only Black in her school because everybody else was Caucasian, but she said the same thing until she learned that Black is beautiful. She said she learned, her skin was beautiful. And so it is different until we learn different. Michelle said she was teased a lot. Let me go back. I said that. Edna Elam says stoplight was invented by J.P. Knight, a Black man, the stoplight. Not only that, you lose your real lashes. Oh, she done went back on the lashes. She said when you put on all them big lashes, she said you keep
any of them really. Yeah.
Wow.
You have to apply them right though to keep that from happening.
Joya Moore says my late family learned how to read by reading the Bible and writing like Sunrise said 3rd, 4th grade education at the best. Wow. Salita Fletcher says Monique talked about the women with the bonnets and house shoes in public places, and everybody thought she was being critical.
That's her.
Real,
That's her
before we
opinion.
go to you, I wanted to finish up real quick, and
Go ahead, Ms.
there's
Laura.
a whole lot I could say about Ruby Bridges because that's one of my favorite Black History moments. Was her, because she ended up going to college and then she went back to the school in 1996, and it was still the same. So then she began. She got a. She became a liaison for the students to do a cultural, some kind of multicultural club, so she could be in there. She took her 4 nieces to school back to get them involved in the school, right? Because they were going to attend the school. So she took that job so she could be a part of it. And she said she's always in school. She said, but one of the important things that she loved about it is that these children really are amazed when they hear her story. But one of the things that I never knew, and no, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but Chloe, I asked her, did y'all have anything Black History this month? No. So they're not even teaching these kids, and even in school, they're not even having these children to have Black History moments or anything, even in history books, some of them. But she remembered that as a kid, and I taught her. But another thing was that I didn't know, because I had the book, and I taught my little kids about Ruby Bridges. We went over that story every day until they got it, is that I didn't know until I looked at it on the documentary that they had, every day they had a little casket with a black doll in it. And when this little girl came to school, Ruby, she had to pass right by it. They had a casket and they wanted to kill her. They were even going to want to poison this child. So they told her mother, the U.S. Marshal, they said, you need to start making her food. You know, don't let her eat in the cafeteria. She never seen anybody in the cafeteria. She went to go sharpen her pencil and she heard all these kids. She looked out on the playground. She didn't see anything, but she went to go sharpen her pencil and she could hear kids, but she never seen anyone. They had them in a whole different area. For her teacher taught her, which was a privilege. And what I love about the story, and I'm a hush, is that the teacher, her name was Barbara Henry, her teacher that they had got from Boston was the only one willing to come and teach this lady. They still have communications right today. Both of these women are still living. Is that she taught Ruby every day for a whole year by herself. So what a privilege to have one-on-one and to learn. You know, it's amazing, y'all. Yeah. It's amazing. So there's a lot to the story, but I'm done.
So Miss Laura could talk about, you already heard her say she could talk about little Ruby Bridges until Jesus come, because that's how much she know about her. But you guys can go and Google all that Miss Laura hasn't shared. Go and Google and find out the story. Stephanie Dixon said there used to be, in response to what you said, Miss Laura, she said there used to be commercials every day, all day for Black History Month, and now there's nothing.
Nothing.
So you just said they're not doing anything.
So it's left up to us. If we don't share, it will die. It will die out.
Yeah, we're their first teachers. Michelle said her Aunt Murrah came home and saw her crying, and she took me to the mirror and said, "You are Black. The next time someone calls you Black, say yes. The blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice." And ever since then, she like, "Yep, I am," and it is what it is.
And don't forget to add James Brown's song that he used to say, "I'm Black and I'm proud."
Black
Remember?
Proud. Wow.
Can I comment on that, Renee?
Yes.
In regards to that looking in the mirror thing, with Sunny, you know, being in school, and one day she had come home. And so the thing is that we have to know what we're going to call ourselves. We're going to be African Americans, we're going to be Black, we're going to be brown people, you know, because it's confusing for the kids, you know. And so when Sunny came home, we were riding in the car, and so I had mentioned that she was Black or somehow or another, and she was like, "I'm not Black," you know. And so you know, they think that Black is
Black,
you know, Black. And so I said, "Well, what color are you?" She said, "I'm yellow." And so, and I'm like, "Yeah, you're Black, Sonny." You know, so it's so important to teach the children what they are, you know, because as far as color is concerned and things like that, they are kind of a little bit confused as to they're Black, African American. And then the other thing was that they play with these dolls with long, beautiful hair, and some of the dolls are are Caucasian dolls and some are Black. You know, in some households, they do buy Caucasian dolls for their Black children, and it's good just so that you can see something different other than yourself. It's good to see your color, but you have to teach your children there are other colors, races out there other than yours. And so, but because of the hair, the flowing of the hair, Sunny wants me to flat out her hair all the time, you know, so that she can throw it and things like that. And so one day she had pulled the kid's hair at school. And I said, why did you pull her hair? And she said, because her hair is long and I want mine to be long. And so I said, Sonny, you have very long hair. And so, but because when I wash her hair, it curls up, she didn't realize how long it was. So I had to flat iron it to show her that she had long, beautiful hair as well. But in doing that, I created a monster because now she wants it to be flat ironed all the time and wants to throw it. Yeah. But we do have beautiful hair as, you know, as African-American people as well, you know, so straight or kinky or whatever we're doing right now. I love my natural hair, you know, and that's the thing, the perms and things like that are out the door with me. I love my natural hair and I wish I had done it way long time ago.
Me too, Sunrise.
Yeah. Marilyn Hudson says, my granddaughter loves the story about Ruby Bridges. She's her hero, and she read about her in school 2 years ago, and her granddaughter is 11 years old, but she loves the story about Ruby Bridges. Licia Moses says, in the school systems, if the principal isn't pushing Black history, then the teachers won't do the curriculum. Wow. Yeah. And Jeannie Mayberry says she's seen the movie of Ruby Bridges. Yolanda Lafferty says they are talking about taking Black history out of the school and remove the books from the schools about Black history. Wow.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Miss Laura.
Yeah.
The man that invented the light bulb was Howard Lattimore. Now, these two last names is instrumental. So Dr. Charles Drew, a Black scientist, found a way to preserve and store blood, which led to his starting the world's first blood bank. The second and the last one is Dr. Daniel Hale Williams, a Black doctor who performed the first open heart surgery.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, remember Bishop had, what's his name? The guy that did the first, as well as I know his name, separated the first congenital
twins.
Yes.
Came to our church shortly. Shortly, yes, he is.
Oh, wow, wonderful.
His name, but yes, he is. The very first separation. He did that. I can't think of his name. Miss Laura Stephanie Dixon said, "You wearing that afro?" Hey, come on.
Real quick, when Sunrise said that her baby, they were talking and she wanted to say what color she was. Well, my grandfather used to always say, and he looked like a Hispanic. Okay, he looked like a Hispanic man, so he didn't like me to call him that. I said, "You look like a Mexican." He said, "Don't say that." So he'll say, "Come here, sweetheart, with your pretty Black self." And every time he said that, I said, "I'm not Black." No. He said, "What color are you?" I say, "Paper sack."
Paper sack. His name was Ben Carson. Ben Carson.
Yeah. Ben Carson.
Yeah. Look up his story. It's a really good story. Really good story. So we got about 5 minutes, and Black history for me, it could be a whole lot. I'm not into a whole lot of, but I do know that the songs from back in the day, the old hymns, and I think about the songs that brought our ancestors through. And now they've made praise and worship out of them, but they used to sing without music, without tamarines, but they always had a drum. Whatever they could find something until they made up some music. They could clap right on beat. They can stomp on beat. They can move on beat. They gonna dance to their own music. Some of them, most of them did. And so now some of the old hymns, I think about Amazing Grace. Let me see. I want to play one in a few minutes. Glory to his name. How great thou art. The old rugged cross. But even way back You know, they did that one, Hush. Somebody's
Somebody
calling.
calling my name. Yes.
Yeah, my
Yes.
high school choir director, Miss Nina Scott. I'm telling y'all, we were a cappella doing that, and it was a different rendition, but they were all Black authors. They were all Black music. What do you call them? That composers. They were all Black composers, and I'm telling you, some of the music that has been created by African Americans has been unbelievable. And I know music is in the ear. Like they say, beauty is in the eye. To me, music is in the ear, because what might be a bunch of noise for me just about is a bunch of noise. But anyway, it might be a bunch of noise for me. It may not be noise for somebody else. You know what I'm saying? What might be smooth, and for me may not be smooth for somebody else. And so music has changed. I mean, when they say music is universal, it is universal. But I come from a musical background, and I can't play a lot of what I would like to play because Facebook will boot us off, but I can play what I can play. And so my dad happens to do the song I Made It Over, and to me this song speaks volumes, because it's I made it over. I won't have to cry no more. We don't realize, I think our children don't realize what some of our ancestors went through to get them to the point to where they are now. They scuffled in the they bled, their hands bled from picking cotton, and they were out there for hours and hours with sacks on their backs and sweat and dark, and our children now, to me, sometimes don't appreciate because they don't know the Black.
They don't know. They do not know.
They appreciate that, and then they don't even want to sit down. They don't even want to pick up they don't want to pick up a napkin in the yard, much less cotton. What cotton? What? They don't even want to take a cotton shirt out the dryer. So our children don't know, but I like the old to bring the song back. I'm at I've been going to this church called Hill Chapel now the last couple of weeks, and it's an older, it's an older crowd, and they just want to sit back and enjoy. You know, they ain't trying to hear nothing loud and nothing. They just want to sit and enjoy and take some of the Spirit is giving me old songs to give them, because they can appreciate. It's so many different songs going on now. They don't know half the things, because I don't. What they saying, what they talking about. If it ain't beating up your mama, it's having sex. I mean, and you don't know what they're talking about. You just don't. And so I like to take it back to where they can understand. You know what brought them. Those songs brought them to where we are today. And we don't play them for our children. You know, we don't, because they don't want to hear that. They want to hear rap and cussing and beats and banging and knocking down, and you did this. And so I want to play this I Made It Over, and let them remember, you know, what I went through. My parents went through some blood, sweat, and tears. Our ancestors went through some heartaches, some sleepless nights, and being raped and torn, and from one children being snatched from them, to not eating, to sleeping in cold cabins. And we did a whole lot. It was the music. It was the songs, the words to these songs that brought a lot of them. It gave them some hope. It gave them some joy. It gave them peace, even as working in the fields for hours and hours. When they came home, they still rocked themselves to sleep. They still hummed themselves to sleep. When they got in trouble, they if they didn't do nothing, they can hum a song. If they did nothing, they could sing a song. They could clap to the beat. And so for me, Black history is the music and the words and the encouragement, the joy and the peace that comes from music. You can be depressed, going through anxiety, mess around and push a button on a song. Just push any song. Just the music. You're no longer alone. You before you know it, you find yourself right in the mood of whatever you know. So to me, it's the music that kind of helped bring us over. It's the music. It's the music. Whatever your music is, it's your music. We can sing in our own minds and don't hear a note. I know somebody who just think like you would swear I promise y'all, don't miss a note, don't miss a, don't miss. You would think she doing every word on the. I promise you, but to hear it and feel that, you got to be able to feel that. And so mine to me is music. And so I'm gonna close. Give them hope. That's right. That's right. Hey, I bought some cotton home off a trip one day. This is Stephanie Dixon, and brought it before I play this, because we're gonna close with a song, and brought it to my mom, and she went bad on me, not knowing what that cotton meant to her. Wow. Wow. Edna says, when we have to fill out any form and are asked what race we are, we can say human race. Wow.
That's good.
That is good.
Because the Bible does say that we were made in his image.
Wow, I never thought about that. I never thought about that. That's
you
good.
know, and a lot of children, they don't even know about the Negro anthem. If you ask anybody about name me one Negro anthem, or name the anthem for Negroes,
Yeah,
they don't know it. Let's lift every voice and sing. They don't know that.
It's amazing. Some of them don't even know the I Pledge Allegiance. You know, it's some they just don't, and it's not being taught. We need to do what God has made us to do, and that's to follow His instruction to live, love, and to serve. That is true. But I'm going to close with a song, and it's I made it over, and this song is by this guy right here.
Your daddy,
your Superman.
Is that. He is that. Right. And it's I made it over. And just think about, I won't have to cry no more. Too many dangers, tall and snare. And I've come already. I mean, I can't now. I'm singing it's crazy how music has actually put us over the hump. When I say us, I'm talking about our ancestors and how it brings joy to everybody. Y'all know I'm gonna say this before I start this. You see that, and I know I'm not the only one, where a couple years ago, the lady had not moved, had not said anything, and it was either a lady or a man, and I can't remember which one it was. And the nurse that had him messed around and they brought her some music in there and turned the music on, and the lady started humming to. They had not said anything, had not given any type of response. They knew she was alive, but they brought a radio in there, turned the radio on, and she started humming to the music that was on the radio.
Aww.
It's unbelievable. I remember my friend Gloria that passed away a year ago. I remember asking her, I said, do you have a radio? Because I talk to her all the time on the phone. I called and she'll say, no, I don't have a radio. So tell them to get you a radio. Because this one you talk about could sing, had a wonderful voice. I mean, full of song, full of Jesus. And I said, have them get you a radio, because you never know what that music will do for somebody. Because for what they remember, they'll rock with that music. So they remember. But I'm going to close. Anybody else want to have anything? I'm glad I caught the show, because I didn't know what time you came on. So before we go, we come on every Saturday, at 5:00 Central Standard Time, which is my time, and then it'll be 6:00 Eastern Standard. And Karen know about that 3:00 thing. That confuses me. So
3 p.m. Pacific time. That's for those folks over there on the West Coast.
All right. So
real quick, one of the things that Ruby Bridges' daughter, because she have a daughter, and I like what she said in the end. She said to have equality, it takes someone with courage to make that change, so that we can come together and have a full faith foundation to stand for something that you truly believe.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
I think I did see the Ruby Bridges, but I would have to go back and study that some more, because now you've got me intrigued about
I did too. I also wanted to say that I totally agree with you, Renee, about the music, because it gives you life. I mean, in so many situations where you're depressed or you're down and out, and things like that, you can hit play on a song and it can liven you up. I mean, that's why they say keep a song in your heart, and so it does. I remember a lot of times I was going through as a youngster. And when I tell you Michael Jackson gave me life, I mean, when I would turn to Michael just to get me out of a funk. And so, but music does, even in my TikTok videos, even though I'm not the one singing the song, you know what I'm saying? Yet still one of my videos have like 1.4 million viewers. And when I tell you so many of these 67,000 have shared it because of the music itself and what it does for them, and the testimonies in their comments of what this song has done. And several people have said they've had a bad day, but this song did it for them. They keep this song on repeat, and things like that. Music makes a difference in your life, and a lot of times it's that song that brings you out. Yeah. So I agree.
Make your heart happy. Make your heart happy.
Yes.
Yeah, music does. All kind of music. All kind of music does, because you don't know who the listener is. Again, music is in the ear. It's in the ear. Listening to it.
All right, it sounds good.
I'm gonna close, guys. We love y'all so much. Evelina says, "Sorry, I was late, but I will review later." We love y'all. We love you who showed up. But we're gonna play this, and it says, "I made it over," and I really hope you just listen to the words. I guess if it'll start. All right, here we go. Nope, that's the wrong one, guys. That's another one. He keeps doing great things for me.
Yes,
he keeps on. He keeps doing great things for me. We're gonna do the right one in a minute. All right. My bad. Here we go. I made it over. That's the name of this one. I made it over.
Let's help some, Rep. Cut it up, volume up a little bit.
I made it over. I made it over. Too many dangers, tore the snares. I thank God I made it over. I made it over.
There you go, Rep. Work.
I thank God I made it over. Right now, I'm with Jesus, the man who died for me. Oh, the man who bled and suffered, hung out there on Calvary. I've already told him thank you because you brought me.
Yeah.
Thank you because you taught me. Oh, thank you because you kept me. I just never left me. Oh, you never left me. I thank God that I made it over. Listen to this part right here. Here's another thing. Right now, I'm out sightseeing in Beulah. I marched around all dawn. Singing in the heavenly choir. Singing a brand new song. And I will never get tired. Thank God. I can picture Mama Floyd. I know, right? She got one. I made it over. Thank God I made it over. I thank God I made it over. And that's what some of our ancestors are singing. I'm so grateful that I didn't think I would see today. I think about that when I as far as the African American president. How my husband he didn't get a chance to see that happen. You know what I'm saying? So that I'm some of the things that they didn't get a chance to see, we got to make sure that we carry it out. Daddy sang this song at TT Rosie so hard. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Kathy Ruffin said, beautiful. Sunrise, Salita Fletcher says she liked your bracelets. Listen, we thank y'all. Kathy Ruffin said music is universal language. The universal language. Remember Grandma Daisy with dementia could remember the words and saying yes, even if they had dementia, they still would know the songs. Ain't that something? Would still remember the words of a song. All right, ladies, anything you want to talk about, you want to say before we close?
Just thank everybody for coming and supporting us every Saturday. Thank you.
Saturday.
That's wonderful.
Every
Black
Saturday.
on Black love. Black
Yes,
on Black
ma'am.
love.
Yes.
Let's love each other.
So we will be here on next week. Just keep looking for the commercials. Keep looking for the shares. We're gonna let you know what we're gonna do next Saturday. We're gonna give you something to talk about on next Saturday. All right, we love y'all. We love y'all so very much, and we'll see you next time. Thank you so much. But please do us a favor and share once you go off, or before you go off. Please take a moment to share so we can get it out there and give others something to talk about. And in the meantime, we'll see you guys back here next Saturday, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 3 o'clock. How about that?
There you go, Renee.
We'll give you something.
Now that was something to talk about. Join us again every Saturday at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook and YouTube Live. And we'll be sure to give you something to talk about.
All right, we love y'all, and we'll see you next time. God bless you. God bless you.